Okay, viewers, once again, all over the world, let's consider episode 14. Let's consider episode 14. And that has to do with properties of linear graph or straight line graph. That has to do with what? Linear graph or straight line graph. Okay, this is from also algebraic graph. So linear graph, the general form of a linear graph could come in this form: y equal to ax plus b, or y equal to minus ax plus b. Y equal to ax plus b, or y equal to minus ax plus b. This is the general form. And the graphical representation of it is what we call a straight line graph. Okay, let us have a sketch of it and let us see how it looks. Straight line graph is of two types. Straight line has two shape. Either we have a positive straight line, which we call a positive gradient, or negative straight line, which we call a negative gradient. Either we have a positive straight line, which we call the positive gradient, or we have a negative straight line, which we call the negative gradient. So all depends on whether A is greater than 0 or A is less than 0. All depends on here, whether this A is greater than 0 or here A is less than 0. So when we say A is greater than 0, it means that A is positive. You can see A is positive here. And when we say A is less than 0, it means that A is preceded by negative, as you can see. Okay, so let's have a sketch of it and see how it looks. Okay, let's assume this is, yeah. Okay. 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 This is mark you. This is y axis, s axis, s axis, s. Then here we have y. The center has y. Then we have x. So this and this, you can see how the line looks like. This is an example of a positive gradient, whereby the line rises. The line rises. You can see the line, it goes up. But here the line falls to the left-hand side. This is an example of a positive gradient. And mark you, gradient means slope. Gradient means slope. You see, a linear graph, it's made up of the positive gradient, which is the first one. Let's take it as A, and here let's take it as B. Okay, in the first graph, you see that this one represented the positive gradient of a straight line, in which A is greater than 0 or A is positive. And in graph B, you discover that the line slash back, it falls to the left hand side. Yes, which implies that A is less than 0. A is less than 0. Here, if we have to trace the coordinates, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. You discover that as x increases, y also increases. But here, as y decreases, s increases. As y decreases here, s increases. But for the first, graph, y increases, s increases. This are the examples of what positive and negative gradient. Okay, then we can equally say in a situation whereby gradient does not exist, let's take for this one. Okay, let's assume that gradient does not exist here. Okay, so okay. Okay, let's see. When you see the line in this form, whereby the line, you can see the straight line, intersected x-axis at a point which we can give as a C. Yeah, it means that the S equals to what? C. Yes. Here it means that the gradient does not exist. The gradient does not exist because gradient has to do with slope, but here it does not slope. This is just vertical. And it cut the x-axis at a point. That point could represent any value, but let us represent it with C here. So this is the negative side of S. So here can equally be minus, this place can equally be minus C. So it means that here is S equals to minus C. Here equals to S minus C. S minus C. Here is S plus C. Okay, so in this, this is an example of a situation whereby gradient does not exist. So coming to this side also, you can now see that the line here intercepted on a y-axis, and this is the positive side of a y. So here could also represent C. Here could also represent minus C. So here now y equals to y. So here represent y equals to minus C, and here y equals to C. So y equals to C. Okay, so here y equals to C, and here y equals to minus C. And mark it, this is C. This okay, this is x. Okay, equals to C, and this is S equals to minus C. This is how to show or indicate when a gradient does not exist when it comes to a straight line or linear graph. So here we have seen here intersected with what x-axis on the both what positive side of S and negative side of S, which we have represented so far, and here also y. So this is when a gradient does not exist. So thank you, viewers all over the world, and that is all to this.